Hey, it's Spence from launchflows.com. In this video, I'm going to show you how to customize your My Account area of WooCommerce as part of a custom checkout experience. Now, there's several ways to do this, and I've covered these in other videos, but let me break it down here as a reference point for anybody who's new. You can customize it using your favorite page builder, or you can use a plugin that I find is worth every penny called the YITH WooCommerce Customize My Account page. And what this does is gives you a pre-made interface to adjust the endpoints or the links and so forth. So I'll show you both ways real quick, but let me start with the basics. I've got a My Account here, which is part of WooCommerce. The reason we want to customize it is because as part of any custom checkout experience, you're going to send your customers here for their login and their post-login experiences. After they've gone through your sales funnel or after they've gone through using whatever it is to acquire the products and services you're offering, you want them to have a centralized dashboard. And WooCommerce provides an amazing array of options here, but it looks pretty much the same no matter what. And you want to, without code, be able to change the available options. In this case, today I had a user or client who was going to want to have their coursework as a tab. This could be through any of our popular LMSs, right? Lifter, LearnDash, WP Courseware, and so forth. So let me show you how you would accomplish that. With the YITH plugin, you've got a dashboard on the back end. You go into their own tab, YITH, Customize My Account. Here you have a couple options, the ability to change the settings, the security, and the endpoints. We're only going to deal today with the settings and the endpoints. The settings are whatever you want it to be. You can, for example, allow people to upload their own custom avatar. You can have the menu be on the side or on the top, as well as being tabs. You can go ahead and change what the default is from the existing ones that you have from WooCommerce, or if you create a new one. I like to stick with dashboard because that's the one that everybody's most familiar with. You can change colors and so forth. Now, what I'm going to do here is go right to endpoints. Out of the box, you have the ability to use the existing WooCommerce endpoints, but you can also put them into different positions, such as putting them together as children of a parent, or you can add new endpoints. Right out of the bat, the neat thing is when you open up an existing endpoint, you have the ability to add new content to replace the default content of WooCommerce. So you'll notice here, this is created by default with the WooCommerce template. This can be modified if you want to do coding by changing the templates and getting inside of a child theme, but it's much easier here. Let's just go ahead and say, hi, this is your custom dashboard. Just by doing this simple act of modifying the normal endpoint of dashboard and saving, we can modify the behavior that is shown in WooCommerce. Now you want to make sure that this is enabled, which this plugin is. Let's refresh it. And we see that now I've got that information. But we can take it a step further. What we can do is create a custom endpoint. So instead of using the dashboard, we might be able to go here and say add a new endpoint, in which case we can put a custom plugin or other custom template content. So Spence, well, let's do even better. Let's do my courses. Okay, I'm going to click save. Now, what can I put in my courses? Well, I can put anything that is an existing shortcode or template, or I can just type right in it. My courses list goes here. If I click Save Changes and refresh, we'll see that I not only have the new endpoint, but when I click to it, the content, whatever it may be, will show up. Let's modify it further by saying we can change the position and do that at the top. And we can also change the setting that maybe that's the first thing people will come to instead of the My Dashboard, giving a different experience when somebody comes in. Now, this is particularly useful if you're using, let's say, a membership plugin or something else that you need to show to people, but you don't want to confuse them by having multiple dashboards. Instead, just take the shortcode that displays the custom dashboard elements, make it an endpoint, put an icon on it, put it in the place you think is important, and you're good to go. Let me give you an example. If you look for Shortcodes LearnDash, it will give you all the shortcodes that are available to place if you're using LearnDash. Lists of courses, profile, ordering the profile, and so on and so forth, right? So I could take any of these things and I can put them into a custom tab or endpoint inside of my account dashboard. And that means that I don't need to have a whole separate My Account or separate account area just for LearnDash. I can consolidate it with the other plugins that I'm using. Now, if you instead have something that is a link instead of an endpoint, you can accommodate that as well. Because here, instead of creating an endpoint, we can add a link. A link would be a URL directly to an outside page. Let's say I want people to go to LaunchFlows, the website. I go ahead and add that. And then that way I can modify it, except instead of putting content in, I'm going to give the link URL. launchflows.com. I can also choose for any of these an icon. Let's put the heart there. And I can add custom classes, opening in a new tab, etc. When I look at my account page now, you can see I have the ability to open a new tab, goes to the place I need it to go. Now let's talk about the grouping capability. YITH makes it really simple to group things together. Let's add a new group, and we'll call it, let's say, member options. You can call it anything you want. Here, I can drag this to the top, and I can put the important things for a member in there, right? Maybe I put in my subscription, I drag it in. My courses, I drag it in. My orders, drag it in. The idea is now I'll have a drop-down that consolidates things into a smaller space, but still makes it available if somebody clicks the arrow to expand it. Likewise, I can go ahead and customize the rest of the area with or without using a page builder. Let me show you how to do it with a page builder. When I look at the YITH, this content is displayed here, but if you'll notice, this is still an ordinary page. If I want to put stuff above and below the custom My Account dashboard stuff, I'll just click Edit Page and then choose to either use the native editor, or in this case, I'm using the Page Builder Elementor. All I need to do here is add the Elementor content above or below, or change the layout altogether. So you'll notice that I've already got a shortcode in place. If I click, getting myself out of the way, if I click here, we've got the shortcode that's displaying the normal WooCommerce My Account. If I add a bit of, let's say, a single column above, I can drag in something else at the top. Maybe I want to put in a new section, and I want to have perhaps, let's say, an image on the left, and maybe I want to put a video on the right. And I can do stuff below as well. Whatever my design desires are easy with the page builder, right? So maybe I'll put in a portfolio or something else. When I go back to the My Account area, this will be reflected. So I'm actually here using my custom layout along with the YITH plugin. But the neat thing with Woocommerce Endpoints is that they're always available to you by a direct link anyway. So if you type in Woocommerce Endpoints, it gives you a list of all the available things that you could directly create using just Elementor buttons or links. So for example, the checkout endpoints all start with /checkout, but the My Account ones, the ones that we're talking about, are the ones that go from the My Account page. So /orders, /view order, /download, /edit address, and so forth. So if I wanted to do one that is, let's say, look at my orders, I need My Account /my orders. And if we look over here and we look at the link and we open this link in a new tab, we can see /my account, my orders. So to make this a visual element just using Elementor, I'll just simply go back where I was. I'll edit this page with Elementor. And instead of using that sort of big blunky stuff that I put at the top, let me delete that. Move myself out of the way. And instead what I'll do is I'll put in a simple button. And I'll put the link there. I would recommend you don't need the domain at the beginning. You could just do my account /orders. And I would say, view my orders. And I can customize it any way I want. I can change the color and the typography and all that sort of thing, of course. Now I've got a pretty button, and I can do multiple buttons for any of the endpoints. But what this accomplishes is the same thing that the YITH plugin does. I just had to build it myself, right? So if I'm on my subscription, I can still click to my orders. It takes me there. Now, finally, let's talk about how we would customize this if we wanted to have an element or template that was more advanced than just simply putting it into this page. For example, maybe I want to make an entire layout of something super customized. When you have Elementor and launch flows, you can grab that template and put the short code right in place. Or if you have Elementor Pro, you can do the same thing. So let's look over here. And on our back end, we'll go to templates, save templates. And I have Elementor Pro enabled, so the short codes are already there. And I could take any of the content I create and I can go ahead and embed it into an endpoint or into the custom layout that I'm building on the My Account page. So for example, let's say if I add new, and I'll say this is a section, and I'll leave the location alone, and I'll just call this custom My Account layout. I can use any of the tools inside of Elementor to make something special, either visually or using the shortcodes from other plugins that I want to embed, or using a pre-made layout. One of the things that's neat is Elementor gives you lots of components, but you could also be using a third party like Happy Elementor add-ons. And here I might just choose something that's super cool that matches with my sensibility. Let's just insert this for a second. So I've made a section, I've published it, saved it as a template. Now when I go back to look at the templates that are available, I'm going to copy the short code for that one. And it's custom My Account layout. I just copy this short code, and now I can use either the YITH plugin, or I can go directly into the layout. Let's do it both ways. If I go to YITH, let's go ahead and look at our endpoints. I'll make a new endpoint, and I'll say my custom layout, or whatever you want to call this new area. I'll put it at the top, save it, and then I'll just paste into the content area the short code that will display the template content from Elementor. All right? You can do the same thing with an icon and all that sort of thing. Change the color. Now let's see what happens. When I go ahead and refresh the My Account page, I now have the new tab, and when I click on it, ta-da! I might have to adjust the size because it's a little squishy, but the idea is I've got a template embedded into an endpoint. I could do the same thing without using that by just doing the editing Elementor. So for example, let's get rid of the one that I just created. We'll remove it. And let's do something somewhat similar with Elementor directly. Here is my layout where I had that view my order buttons. Let's put that new section up at the top here. And I can put this in plain view, or I can put it by way of a tabbed section and whatnot. There is actually a widget here that is for either templates. If I type templates, T-E-M, okay, I can use template. And with Elementor Pro, I can search for custom My Account. Let's go and check the name I used there. I've forgotten it already. Let me see. I called it custom My Account layout. Okay, that's one way to do it. Puts it in place. Another way to do it is if you're using the Shortcode plugin. So you could, or widget, you could use the Shortcode widget and simply drop that into place. So let me get rid of the template widget. I'll just use the Shortcode widget instead. And it accomplishes the same thing. I paste in the Elementor shortcode. Ta-da. Okay, so now what the result looks like is very similar, except this will now be, instead of in one of the tabs, it'll be permanently at the top. And I think I need to go to the actual My Account area. 1 second. There we go. And so now at the top, I've got the new section, and then down below, I've got the other things. So you can mix and match, use them as you please. I think it's a worthy thing to try out, the YITH Customize My WooCommerce Account plugin. It gives you a lot of flexibility, and you don't have to customize all these mechanicals using templates, but you can also build a really neat button or grid or other layout, even a multi-step tab layout with the Elementor tab widgets yourself. And if you want to do it that way, you end up just pasting in the endpoints or the links, and the endpoint you get to is the same, just maybe a little more customizing involved. Hopefully this helps out those of you who are trying to get this result. And also, if you are doing a custom checkout experience, it's really awesome to have a unique dashboard with the My Account stuff in it, because you never want to have multiple plugins with their own custom dashboards all on one site. It would literally it would be like having multiple locker rooms in one health club. It would be very confusing where everybody should go. There's just typically the male or female locker rooms, or there's typically maybe the public one or the family one. One My Account area to service all of the various plugins is a great way to keep customers happy and not confuse them. I'll see you in the next video.